And breaking tonight, a U.S. defense official saying Russian forces are on a, quote, hair trigger, massing on the Ukrainian border. Earlier, President Obama announced new sanctions trying to punish Russia for seizing Ukrainian territory and warned them not to take any more.
States is today moving, as we said we would, to impose additional costs on Russia. At the same time, the world is watching with grave concern as Russia has positioned its military in a way that could lead to further incursions into southern and eastern Ukraine.
Meantime, Russian forces have not budged. A reported 20,000 troops remain posted on the Ukraine border. Richard Grenell is a former spokesman for the U.S. ambassador to the UN, 6 of them, and a Fox News contributor. Rick, unbelievable now. So we've imposed, I guess, sanctions on another 11 Russians, and now they've imposed sanctions on 9 Americans. So Harry Reid and John Boehner can't go to Russia, and some of their officials can't come here. Meantime, God knows what's happening in the Ukraine.
Yeah, let's remember that President Putin's aggression was a military response, and so far we've just done an economic response. I think it's really important to send a message to the Ukrainians and to the Ukrainian government that they are prepared and that we should supply weapons. That's an appropriate military response. When we're left to just do sanctions, especially unilateral sanctions, what the White House is not getting is that the only way that sanctions, especially banking ones, can work is if they're uniform and global, and right now they are not, so they're easily going to be kind of pushed aside by the Russians.
Rather than saying that we are going to send weapons, never mind, anything beyond weapons, the president came out today or yesterday and explicitly said, we're not going to be getting into a military excursion in Ukraine. We're going to mobilize our diplomatic resources to try to send a clear message. Did he say too much in that message?
Well, I think he just said absolutely the wrong message. Diplomacy 101 is to have a credible threat when you have some sort of negotiations. First of all, we need diplomacy with muscle, but you also have to have a very real credible threat of U.S. military action. The president has bought into this idea, and he's pushed forward this idea with the American people that international crises either mean that we have a war attitude or an ignore attitude. And I don't subscribe to that. I think there's a lot that we can do in the middle. But in order to make something very effective in the middle, you've got to maintain a credible threat. And he took it right off the table from the very beginning.
Rick Grenell, good to see you. We'll be right back.